Hello?
Beep, beep, beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Please do become a warrior teacher. We're starting this third week in March. Here we go. The new people. I can't wait to get in there and get started. And the WhatsApp group's already jumping. So come and join us. What else? Buy me a coffee. Usual. Blah, blah, blah. Right. So subscribe, save, click the buttons. Smash them. Smash that like button and all that business. Let's talk about Labour. Oh, really, Barry? Do we have to? Yes, I'm afraid one does, yes. We must, because something's come up in the Telegraph that's worth talking about. And it's Labour, Wes Streeting, who you may be familiar with. Wes Streeting seems quite a decent chap at heart. Unfortunately, I don't believe a word of what he's going to say, but let's go through it and cold read it, and then you'll get some idea. Because it's the Telegraph saying, stop doing daft things in the name of diversity. Wes Streeting tells NHS. What Wes Streeting's got to do with the NHS, I don't know. There we go. But can he tell him anything? Is it possible for him to do that? I have no idea. Wes Streeting has urged the NHS to stop doing daft things in the name of diversity, as he vowed biological sex would matter under a Labour government. Okay, what does that mean, Mr. Streeting? Because I don't trust Labour as far as I could throw them, even less than I do the Tories. So when he says... One of his instructions have been from Starmer. He vowed biological sex would matter under a Labour government. There's something not right with that statement. That doesn't mean what we think it means. Biological, what does it mean it would matter? In what way? What you should be saying is, Wes Streeting has urged the NHS to stop doing daft things in the name of diversity, as he vowed to eradicate, gender identity ideology, critical race theory and queer theory from every very well cleaned by the staff corner of the NHS. That's what he should say, but he's not. The Shadow Health Secretary, that's why he's bothered, is it? Right? Insisted he would prioritise addressing healthcare outcomes that affect women and black and minority ethnic communities. Oh, here we go. See? We don't want you to do that, Wes. What we want you to do is get it all out, the identity politics stuff, because it's damaging us. Right, and you're not going to prioritise women and black people over me or anybody else. You're going to allow the NHS to do triage based on the nature of the ailment. I go in and they go, right, why are you here? What have you done? I've got a small cut on the back of me neck. Right, when I walk backwards into the chicken shed. Right, Mr. Wall, you live on a third floor flat. Shh. And they go, right, sit down over there. We'll be with you in a minute. Because that probably all that needed was a bit of, not bleach. What do they call it? Not asbestos, is it? No. Antiseptic, that's it. I get confused between antiseptic and disinfectant. That could be dangerous, couldn't it? Zolflura on the back of my neck. Right, go and sit over there. We'll get to you when we've got time. And then 14 hours later, I'm still sat there, which I should be, right? And when I go in, because I've got a carotid artery that's completely blocked. Right, OR! Stat. Prioritise people. You don't prioritise women. You don't prioritise anybody. So within the first, I can't trust them. You can't trust them. Within the first and second paragraph, this reveals Labour's true beliefs. That identity politics reigns supreme and that there is a hierarchy of oppression. That's the first two paragraphs. I'm more than happy for you to prove me wrong, if you'd like to have a try. Mr. Streeting's remarks are his strongest criticism. He's not criticising anybody. Strongest criticism of NHS chiefs for reducing mentions of the word women and gender-specific language from official guidance. Labour backed down on trans self-ID last July after Sir Keir Starmer had pledged to change the law to allow people to self-declare their gender. In an interview with the Telegraph Politics newsletter, Mr. Streeting said, when people read that the NHS has done daft things, like remove language referring specifically to women from NHS documents in the name of inclusion, this is clearly crackers and it should not be happening. Hang on a minute. You've just said previously that you're going to prioritise women, people of ethnic communities. And you think what they're doing is crackers? What they're doing is the same as what you're doing. It's just a different part of the strategy. Sorry, Wes. Unless Labour starts to get declarative about this, I see no way that they're going to do anything but make this far worse, which we know they are when they come in. We've also got to bear in mind, he said, that black women are 4 times more likely to die in childbirth than white women. Black men are twice as likely to die from prostate cancer than white men. Absolutely right. If that's true, we should focus on understanding that. But you don't prioritise it. It becomes part of the standard NHS package that is used in the same way as somebody who is my age might need somebody to tickle the walnut that is the prostate to find out whether or not I've got something awful. But when you're 17, you'd probably tickle it in a different way if you're a gay man. We don't need to be looking at 17-year-olds' prostates. We know that what happens between 50 and 60 and 70 is important that, you know, we keep an eye on the bloody thing because it tends to off us if we're not careful. Right? That's not the same as what he's saying. It's not the same as what the NHS is doing. Here we understand these differentiations due to our geographical locations evolutionary-wise means that we've got a health problem in a particular area. We address that and we understand that for that particular cohort of people. You don't elevate them. You don't give them any... No. It becomes part of the offering. With the weirdest thing being, of course, that the NHS does operate on the principle of equity. The principle of equity in the NHS is we all go in poorly and we all come out as well as we can be. That's equality of outcome, which is fine in the NHS. What's not fine is when they start tinkering about underneath that with equality of outcome. So you end up with the wrong doctors because they're the right colour but they haven't got the right qualification, or they're the right colour but they're not as smart as they thought they were, or they're a woman. See? So you can have equality of outcome. We all go in ill and we come out as well as we can be. That's fine. Underneath that, you need equality of opportunity. And that only comes when you allocate funding according to need. And you understand the differences for different people, be that age, be that because of their evolutionary geographical locations, which can be a thing. And we understand each of those and we treat them accordingly. We don't elevate anyone, Wes. That's where you seem to have it totally wrong. I mean, I can be wrong about this, you can tell me. Asked whether he believed a transgender woman was a woman, Mr. Streeting replied, "I've got no problem whatsoever referring to trans women as women, using she, her pronouns and treating them with respect." Okay, Wes, you're Nutsbury Farm, mate. You don't get it. You don't get it. And I thought you did. And I know there's plenty of people out there in Labour who thought you did. They thought you got it. So I'm going to have to ask the question again. When is the GC movement going to give up on the left? When? Because so many of you are. And they're going to get in. And he thinks men can be women and has no problem with saying so. In public, where others will be. Children might be. People that might look up to him who wish to be politicians in the future. The simple fact of the matter is, you can't run with the hare and the hounds on this one, Wes. Go read the whole thing. I put the links in the doobers, as usual, so you can have a look. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. I'll see you later.